Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Please, continue, my son.
In the many years since my last confession, I have committed murder.
Murder?
Yes, Father, many times.
Many times? How many?
I don't know, thousands, I guess. Sometimes with a gun, oftentimes with a knife. Sometimes with my bare hands. More often with a knife, because then there's mutilation involved. I take gratification in mutilating the body.
And you say you've done this thousands of times?
Yes, Father. In a recurring dream.
Oh, a dream.
Yes, Father, a nightmare.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Have you prayed for help with these dreams?
I'm unable to pray, Father. I no longer believe.
I see, but you're here now, so at some point you must have believed. How long have you had this crisis of faith?
Years, Father, since before the time of my confirmation.
You're not alone. Many people fall away from the faith today. But the Lord is always here for you. He's always ready to welcome you back. All you have to do is reach out.
I loved the church as a boy. I loved the theater, the beauty of the ritual, the mystery of the sacraments. When I was disabused of the mystery, I felt as though my mother had died, been murdered.
Have you been to Mass recently?
No, it would be hypocritical of me to attend Mass as a non-believer.
Sometimes the act is enough. You don't have to believe 100%. When in doubt, substitute hope for faith. Substitute charity, love.
Substitute, huh? Fake it till you make it, as they say.
Everyone has doubts. Everyone's faith wavers. It's at that point that we must lean on the sacraments passed down from Jesus through St. Peter and all his descendants. It seems harder to trust our forebears nowadays. Everyone feels as though he must bear the weight of the world on his own shoulders.
So hard to believe when all the evil in the world seems to thrive. Why is there so much evil in the world, Father? Where does it come from?
I sought whence evil comes, and there was no solution, said St. Augustine.
Is that from his Confessions, Father?
Yes, that's right. Are you familiar with his writings?
I'm his namesake. I've read him. I like him. He had doubts. I can relate.
I'm sure Augustine is more persuasive than anything I can say.
St. Augustine couldn't figure things out. Then the boy appeared to him on the beach, trying to scoop out all the water in the ocean with a seashell. Remember that one, Father?
Yes, of course. One of the great teachings on understanding the Holy Trinity.
Puny human understanding cannot comprehend the totality of God any more than a boy can empty out the ocean with a seashell.
Yes, that was the parable.
Augustine thought the boy was an angel. You ever see any boy angels, Father?
No, I'm afraid not.
Me either. Though I wish I could meet one. Could help me with these doubts.
We all have doubts. St. Thomas doubted too. Even our Lord had doubts in the Garden of Gethsemane.
You ever have doubts, Father?
Yes, of course. If I said I didn't, I'd be placing myself above the Lord.
That would be the sin of pride, wouldn't it, Father?
Exactly. One of the 7 deadly sins. Perhaps the deadliest.
Yes, pride. Pride's the big one. That's what the nuns used to say.
You attended Catholic school?
Yes, at St. James Parish.
Really? That was my first parish. We might have been there at about the same time if I guess your age correctly.
What do you know? So pride. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I've committed the sin of pride so often that I can't keep count. Check that one off. What are the others? Sloth? Sometimes I'm too lazy to wash out empty jars before I put them in the recycling. Is that sloth?
I don't think that rises to the level of...
Gluttony? Keep me away from the potato chips. Oh, those thick, greasy ones. I could polish off a bag in 10 minutes. I have to watch the ice cream, too. Actually, I struggled with overeating in my teens. My therapist said I used food as an emotional crutch, repressing shame and anger. If he only knew. I was too ashamed to tell even my therapist about my shame.
What about your parents?
They were busy praying very hard for my soul. Then, of course, in my 20s came the alcohol, the marijuana, the cocaine, when I could afford it. I even tried meth. All the party drugs. Hours of rehab and thousands of dollars, but God must have been watching over me because by some miracle I never did get around to heroin.
Those addictions are not necessarily mortal sins, my son.
No?
I mean, overcoming them has a lot to do with easing the burden of shame, Christ can surely help with that. Christ was human with all the human weaknesses, not just doubt.
Trust in a higher power. That's why I'm here, to get down with the Lord. So yeah, pride, sloth, gluttony, what else? Envy? Well, I envy just about anybody who isn't me. That's not true. Never go lying. Add another Hail Mary. There's always somebody who's got it worse, right?
Yes, there is. One doesn't have to look far to find the hungry and destitute.
I do envy folks who don't have nightmares. Let's see. Greed? Done a lot of things for money. Lied, cheated, stolen, even sold my body, the temple of my soul. I do wish I could have nice things. Clothes, a bigger television, a bigger house, a car that's smarter than I am. I want all those things. I'm practically drenched in good old American greed. I've heard the Vatican's got quite a bit stashed away, so I don't feel too bad.
The important thing is to share your blessings and not let material possessions govern you to a sinful extent.
That brings us to the most popular sin, lust. We've all got that itch, eh, Father? Did Jesus ever get laid? Tradition says he was celibate, but even celibates slip up now and then, right, Father? Give me chastity, said St. Augustine, but not yet. We've all got the urge to dip our wick now and then, right, Father?
Jesus was tolerant of weakness of the flesh. He walked with Mary Magdalene.
What about the apostles? You think they ever got it on?
Please, let me interrupt you for a minute. Augustine?
Augie.
Something else seems to be bothering you, Augie. Something you're not saying. Are you holding something back?
Sin is bothering me, Father. My sin in others. Is that wrong? Is it making you uncomfortable?
It's just you don't seem to be confessing. Your confession seems to be a litany of anger.
Anger, yes. I saved the best for last. A very deadly sin, anger. Very deadly. I have a great deal of anger, Father, that I've carried around inside me for many years. I commit the sin of anger almost every minute, waking and sleeping, 24/7. I eat, drink, and spit anger. And in my mind, I brutally murder the same man over and over again.
Same man. God help me.
What's that, Father? But anger always turns inward, Father. Like a drug, it destroys you. I thought suicide was the answer. Murder, then suicide. That's what I finally decided on. That's it. That settles it. All the cardinal sins are mine! I've sinned so much that it feels like grace.
I think you should...
So, what's my penance? How many Our Fathers, Hail Marys, acts of contrition should I say? Can you wash away all my anger, Father, with some sign of the cross and Latin abracadabra?
Maybe you should talk to... Or perhaps we can pray together for guidance.
You were right about being at St. James at the same time. Is it coming back? The altar boy in the back row? The vestry 20 years ago? Does that ring the angel bells for you, Father?
I'm sorry.
Innocence is a fragile thing. Suffer little children and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven.
I'm so sorry.
Heaven can be stolen at a young age, taken away in brutal fashion.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Through my fault, through my fault, through my most grievous fault.
What are you going to do to me? It doesn't matter. I don't deserve forgiveness. I've lived in shame and agony all this time.
That makes two of us. How many others were there?
If you knew how I battled this demon in my soul.
Never mind. I don't want to know.
Please don't kill me.
I'm not going to kill you, Father. I'm going to give you something. A holy relic of sorts. For a long time now, I've said my rosary on this gun. I'd empty it, and then with each bullet I'd load, I'd say a Hail Mary. Then I'd put the gun to my head and say an Our Father, always intending to pull the trigger! Right after, deliver us from evil. I don't know why I never did. I don't know what stopped me. Some angel? I think it was Augustine. He who kills himself is a murderer, said St. Augustine. Whatever else I am not a murderer outside my dreams. I'm late for an appointment with the bishop, Father. I'm going to see if he can help me with these nightmares. but I'm not hopeful. I guess you could say I don't have a lot of faith. This is for you! Call it an offering!